What is good, YouTube? We are back, and I'm gonna give you a hint. We are gathered here today to show you guys a couple more upgrades that we've got for the bike. And those upgrades are gonna take it to another level, of course, like the others. A few are aesthetic, cosmetic, and one is very functional that I've been waiting to get. It had to come through customs. It had to come all the way from the UK. And that's where I want to give a shout out to my guy, Matt Francis Official, all the way from over there in the UK. Yes, your boy GOLD JXR over here, all the way in Louisiana, sees your videos. And I had to do one from you, bro. So with that said, let me show you what we got here, guys. We have the GEAUX 54 tooth sprocket. Oh yeah, we got that going on. We had to get a 110 link chain to go with that. We have a cheap gold Amazon kickstand because we love gold. And then also with the GXR sprocket, we got the GXR brake reservoir cap, which is gonna look fire on the brake reservoirs on this bike. So, man, with all that being said, guys, we are slowly but surely building this thing out. We've been looking at some 72 volt batteries here recently. So that's gonna be on the short list of things to get. And we already going with the torque. What is it, the torque T25 motor? TM25 motor, I'm sorry. We're gonna go with the torque TM25 motor. And then we're gonna go with a 72 volt. I don't know which one yet. I don't know what amp hour we're gonna go with yet. But let's just say, with the theme of the bike, the color scheme of the bike is all gold. So that just gives you a hint on what type of battery we've been looking at for the bike. So you guys let me know in the comments which 72 volt you like, and then we'll get it going on with some Q&A, and we'll check out some other batteries, and we'll see what's happening. So we're gonna check y'all once we get this thing upgraded. Peace. And we are back with the finishing product of the upgrades. And I can't even lie, I'm super impressed with this GXR sprocket. Actually, I'm super impressed with GXR in general. Seems to be very well made parts. Seems to be worth the wait. So let me show you what it looks like on bike, right? Here we have our 54 tooth sprocket. It is a 110 link chain, 110 links. Everything seems to be dialed. The torque is incredible. It's an amazing upgrade versus what I had. I had the 42 tooth sprocket, so it was less teeth than the stock sprocket on this thing, guys. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to see what the top speed was going to be with the with the torque controller on this 38 amp hour stock battery. So with that, my plan always was to upgrade to the 54 tooth sprocket. I just had to, you know, I had to do a little bit of testing first, or didn't have to, but I wanted to. Also, we got the GXR brake reservoir caps, which they look incredible on the front of this bike now. Matching the wheel set with the pegs also. I think it looks very, very, very good. So I do want to say, guys, whenever you are changing the reservoir caps, there is a rubber gasket underneath the black stock ones. And when you take the original cap off, just make sure that when you take this cap off, that that rubber gasket, they're normally stuck underneath the original cap. So you'll have to take it off and stick it to these new ones. I almost forgot to do that, and it almost was a problem. I had taken the original one off. The rubber gasket came off with it. When I went to go put this one on, I realized it, and I was like, wait, there's no gasket on here. So I went back to the original and had to take it off. So just a little note for you guys, if you ever change the reservoir cap, make sure you take the gasket off, because new ones normally don't come with a new gasket. So the next part of this video, guys, I am going to demonstrate how to, I've already disconnected the, if you can see it right here, I've already disconnected the kickstand sensor. I just got to trace the wire back and pull it out. But I'm also going to show you guys, because there's not a whole lot of videos on this, how to disconnect and remove your brake sensor wires here. These brake sensor wires right here are, they are what reduce the power in your throttle whenever you're pulling your brake. And for wheeling and doing burnouts, it makes it a lot harder. I can still do burnouts with this thing, but I have noticed, even with the 54 tooth sprocket, whenever I'm feathering from my rear brake and my throttle, now that brake sensor is taking all the power away from my throttle, so I can't keep the bike up. So that will be the next part of this video. So check y'all when we get there. Let's do it.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh.
All right, guys, we are back, and we are about to start on this brake sensor removal. I'm gonna show you guys where to start. If you look right underneath where your brake reservoir is, you have like the smallest little set Allen screw. It's right there. I've already started to get this one out, but I just wanted to show you guys exactly where it's at. It's right there. So once you get that out, then you can start backing out the sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that, and we will check back with you guys in a second. Okay guys, so we got the set screw backed out. I didn't take it out all the way. You shouldn't have to. You should be able to back it out to where it can stay in, and you still can back out that sensor set screw. So that's exactly what I did. I had to put a glove on because there's a little bit of mineral oil on there from when I changed out the caps. But so you just unscrew this piece here till it comes loose like that. You can see the little bit of wire exposed, and then you just slide out the sensor itself, which is right there, and that's your brake sensor there. Then you can trace back your wires. I'll do that also, show you guys in a minute, but you undo your you know, your little wire clips, and you trace it all the way back down your ignition, all the way down, and we'll go down that rabbit hole in a moment. But I wanted to show you guys exactly where the sensor itself is, what it looks like, and how you back it out. So check back with you guys in a minute. Okay, so we got both sides out. We got the sensor out on this side. Went ahead and repeated the same thing on the other side. Backed out the set screw, kept it in, pulled the sensor out. We also fished the wire down. I fished it down that way, and I fished the other one down that way, since here in Louisiana, that's what we do. We fish around here a lot. No, I'm just kidding, man. My homeboys that are watching this video are probably gonna laugh because they all know I don't fish at all. But anyway, we fished both wires down here, got them all the way to this point. And now what we have to do is we'll undo this little, we'll unfasten this little clip for the wires. And then what we have to do is we're gonna back out both of these where the ignition plate is. We'll take the ignition plate off, and go all the way down to the harness where these two brake sensor wires are plugged into the main harness of the bike. And we're gonna remove them, take them out completely. We don't need them. So we'll check back with you when we get there. Boom. Okay guys, so we are back. I'm trying to show you, I want to get you a good angle so you can really see. A lot of people do this different ways, right? A lot of people take the lid off. They'll take these little clips out here and here. They'll take the lid off. They'll back these screws out for your battery plate and pull this out. I try to avoid doing that. And my theory is that the less or the more you can avoid taking things apart or taking them or undoing them and having to put them back together, the better off you're always going to be. So what I've done is, of course, always turn your breaker off. Disconnect your battery, take it out if you're going to be working on anything like that. So that's where I'm at with that part. I left the plate in, don't back that out. I left the lid on, didn't back that out. And all I've done is, like I told you, I've traced these wires back. I pulled the ignition out, right? We got the ignition here. Set it to the side. We got it hanging there. Be careful with your wires. Don't pinch or crease any of that, right? Make sure all that's good. And then I just traced back the two brake sensor wires all the way back to the harness that they're in, which is here. This is each one. This is left. This was right. And all you have to do is you pull up these little white clips here, and it has a little clip right there. Pull on that little clip, and it's out of there. So that's all you got to do. I got to use both my hands. I'm holding the camera with the other one. So yeah, once I get these unclipped and pulled out, I'm gonna put everything back together, seal it back up, and then we should be good to go. So I just wanted to show you guys how to do it, because a lot of videos that I've seen, they'll show you the top part up here. They'll show you this part, how you back the set screw out and you pull it out. But they really don't show you how to get down into this harness, right? So in this harness, if you can see, it's got a couple other things in there also, you know, that you don't want to mess with, right? Your battery, headlight plug-in, of course your ignition, all that stuff, your breaker, all that stuff is in there. So try not to mess with any of that. All you want to mess with are, like I said, these two white Christmas colored, if you want to call it that, brake sensor wires. So let me get these wires pulled out, everything stuffed back in, sealed and buttoned back up, dialed in, and we'll check back with y'all guys in a minute. All right guys, we got the brake sensors removed, unplugged, taken out. But also real quick, I wanted to show you, a lot of people say that you should tape these up with E-tape or whatever to prevent water getting in them or whatnot. I don't see that being a problem as long as you don't submerge your bike. You're not supposed to submerge these bikes anyway. Yes, they're water resistant. They're not water repellent. They don't, you can't sink it completely. Now I have seen people do it, but you're not supposed to. So yeah, I think you'll be fine. I mean, it's got a rubber, it's got like a little rubber boot on it already anyway. So you just kind of stuff those back down in there in the main housing of the frame to where you know that they're not going to be exposed to any direct water, and you shouldn't have to tape those up. But I wanted to make that point also. So yeah, let me get this thing buttoned back up, get the ignition back in, and we'll be good to go. Check out when we get it done. All right, we got everything buttoned up, all of our wires kind of, I don't want to say managed well, because I don't like, I mean, I would much, I'm kind of a stickler about the wires. I want to do that a little better. But anyway, we got everything buttoned up. Make sure your wires are all bunched up correctly here. No kinks, nothing bad going on. Definitely make sure your ignition plate is not loose at all. No play in it at all. And you don't want to over tighten these. You strip these out, you're in trouble, because that's in the frame. You don't want to strip these out. Do not over tighten them. I would much rather come back and have to retighten them after they get loose after a little while than tighten them too much and strip them out and never be able to have it tight again. So always be cautious of that whenever you're tightening these. Also underneath here, you want to make sure you got all your wires underneath the ignition plate and above the breaker sorted out and out of the way of each other, which we have done. So yeah, we're ready for the battery. Come back in, and we got our brake sensors off. We got our 54 tooth sprocket with our 110 link chain. We got our brake calipers on the top. We even got our GOLD Amazon kickstand. So yeah, we ready. We ready for some wheelies now, finally. I mean, I was doing them with the stock sprocket when the bike was stock, but man, I can't even lie to you guys. With the sensors and the 42 tooth sprocket, even with the torque controller, it was hard to do wheelies on this thing the way I had it set up. So now it's gonna be a lot better for stunting, for what I bought the bike for. You know, you just gotta test out different things first, you know, sometimes. I don't wanna say first, but sometimes you might want to. But all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. If you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, and we're gonna catch y'all in the next one. So see y'all then.